Hello, my name is Betty Hart, and welcome to the IMSA STEM Pathways Program Future of Work Program Updates for April 9th. For today's agenda, I'm going to cover with you the following areas. A conference attended in February called the Illinois 60 by 25. We'll look at what the industry is saying about the occupational outlook or future work. We'll look at some projects that are happening out of the Center for Innovation and Inquiry under the College and Career Pathway Endorsement Program. And then I will close by sharing with you some opportunities for you and our students to get involved in STEM pathways skills development. So the 60 by 25 network held their annual conference in February, and I was pleased to be in attendance and have a seat at the table, being a mentor and also being a committee member of the College and Career Pathways Endorsement Committee. It was an amazing conference, and I was able to share some insight on what's happening at our academy since we are such a unique entity within the state, and they were pleased to have us. So the next few slides, I'm going to share with you what came out of that really important conference. If you're not familiar with the 60 by 25 network initiative, basically, they are a hybrid of community leaders and statewide partners from Illinois who are aligning together to reach one common goal, which is ensuring that the residents of our state, at least 60% of them, will have a post-secondary degree by 2025. So we consist of many members out of Advanced Illinois, and some of those members include the Aurora Regional Pathways to Prosperity, Thrive Chicago, Peoria Pathways to Prosperity, and the Northwestern Educational Council for Student Success, and there's many, many more. So this organization launched back in 2013 by Advanced Illinois, the Education Systems Centers at Northern Illinois University, and the Illinois Student Assistance Commission. So I just toss all those names out here to let you know that there's a lot of people with big hearts and strong minds working together to drive meaningful and equitable post-secondary attainment for the youth of our state. I'm going to highlight some areas that I was able to attend in this two-day workshop, or two-day conference, I'm sorry. And so first and foremost, as I mentioned, there's over 16 leadership communities within the 60 by 25 network, and some of the challenges that they've identified are some policy barriers. The biggest one was the teacher shortage. So if you're staying abreast to anything in education and in the state, there is a teacher shortage for the state. There's also some challenges and barriers within career technical education certification programs, and also students obtaining dual credit credentials. So these are areas of focus for these leadership communities where they are driving those policies to ensure that they reach this goal, or we reach this goal. At this conference, I decided to bring 3 students with me from IMSA who are working with me on a project I'll discuss with you a little bit later in this presentation. But I was excited to bring them because it would bring into the framework why they were doing what they were doing in their project. And I'll have to say that not only was I pleased that they were there, they were very excited to be there, as well as everyone that met them. They were so excited that students were a part of the conversation because after all, they were the purpose for the conversation. And so it was great to see our students networking with all of these amazing people from different districts, these educators, these policymakers, and getting around our students. And that was something that they highlighted at the end of some aha moments for the conference, was that people should bring their students to these conferences. So it was great to have them in attendance. The Guidance for Guides session was really interesting, actually. So they basically talked about how they can revitalize the Illinois workforce and economy from a college-going culture to a college and career success culture. So there's a whole session on this, talking about ways that districts need to address the counselors' needs. So in our case, the CACs. And what they discovered in their research was that they need to get around the following areas to ensure that our counselors are better equipped for the changes that are happening. They need to be more culturally responsive. They need to be actively involved, ethnically driven, and systemically engaged. And they want our new counselor roles to start to transition to post-secondary access and success counselors. So basically taking that mindset of there's one of two directions you can go in after you graduate high school. And oftentimes that direction may not only be college. They said that we've been operating out of the college going culture since it was like the 80s. So it's been a while. You know that times are changing. We see that happening currently now with the COVID crisis. So it's time to start changing our mindset. And so the state we're in is the Advanced Illinois Regional Analysis, their data report that they submitted. It is accessible on their website at Advanced Illinois. Their quote in there was, "Access to early college classes leads to higher post-secondary success." Deputy Governor of Education, Jesse Ruiz, was also in attendance, sharing some statistics with us regarding the status of people in Illinois. He said 1 in 3 Illinoisans are either Black or Latino, and that poses an equity gap in our education system. He said because there's a teacher shortage and there's a lack of diversity, that they're starting to see a decline at four-year institutions in the state for Black and Latino students. His quote was that he feels he has an obligation to give back to the community that made his career possible. So he has a personal passion that is driving the work that he's doing within his education for the state of Illinois. The Pathways to Success in College and Career Pathways Endorsement, or CCPE session. And this is, again, the community that I'm a part of as we drive policy for the state around competencies. And I'll talk to you about that very soon. But basically, we are put in place to support all students to achieve life and career goals through aligned, equitable, and high quality college and career pathway systems. So whatever that looks like for the school, for our academy, for any institution in any district, we have the autonomy to create what this looks like for us. There is no one size fits all, obviously. So we have that autonomy to create what that looks like for us, and it's a great space to be in. What they did in this session was they did a very high-level overview of the Post-Secondary Workforce Readiness Act. Again, I will share that with you shortly. They highlighted School District 211 for their extraordinary opportunities, their innovative teaching, their exceptional learning. So of course I had to sneak a peek and see what they're doing differently and uniquely there. And then they also talked about how college and career readiness requires a deep commitment from partners cradle to career. So we talk about all of that, and we're doing amazing things in the state as different partners from different districts and areas to say, how do we set our students up for success? What does this look like? What does the future of work look like? So here's a question for you. If we don't know what the future of work looks like, how do we even educate our students to take place in the future workforce? We as an institution, we as an academy, we as educators, we cannot rest on the confidence that we're all contributing to a STEM education, and therefore students are guaranteed success. According to several industry experts, STEM skills alone are not the golden ticket to a successful career. I know at IMSA, we pride ourselves in a 99% college acceptance rate. While 35% of the country has a 4-year degree, the most in history, these degrees aren't necessarily giving people the practical work skills that they need. According to experts at Harvard, Forbes, and Cognizant Center for the Future of Work, their research suggests college students are not ready for the workforce, and many of them have to reskill or upskill post-graduation. So we have to ask ourselves as educators, what exactly are we teaching towards or for? Which factor is of greater importance in our current time? Is it college readiness or career readiness? According to a Brookings report, educational pathways are largely disconnected from the job market, which inhibits students' ability to see their future career pathways lucidly. At the Center on Education and Workforce at Georgetown University, they say policymakers, post-secondary officials, and students are not provided with data that keeps them informed. At a recent conference I attended in Chicago for the Executive Learning Exchange, which is basically over 200 industry leaders and managers and executive level decision makers, they all said they need skilled workers and that the bridge between industry and education is weak, and they want to collaborate to resolve the skill shortages. Here's a challenge I face as a STEM Pathways program manager. Oftentimes when we do approach the bridge to these industry experts, the challenge is that there's a liability in working with our youth, right? Because they're underage, and depending on the organizational structure, sometimes there is a hesitation, but yet they say they want to collaborate. So if we can't cross the bridge just yet because we're working with minors and we're trying to support our students, is it our responsibility as an institution, is it our responsibility as educators to stay informed by industry? Or is industry's responsibility to inform us, to collaborate with us, to connect with us? So the numbers are off. 96% of colleges believe students are prepared for the future of work, whereas only 11% of employers are confident that college grads have skills and competencies they need. According to a report from Jobs for the Future, jff.org, they say the future of learning is not about accumulation of knowledge, rather about systems and collaboration. So they promote life-wide learning. We should never stop learning, and we should be able to pivot quickly, especially when society and economy changes, such as currently, again, with our COVID crisis. So if you follow along with economic development, you know that there's been at least 4 industrial revolutions. They say we are at the cusp of the 5th. I say we are already there. We are already digitally connected as a world, and we offer cross-cultural collaborations like no time ever in the past. Tech and digital advancements are a driving force for social interactions, access to knowledge, specifically around educational information, and AI is increasing our ability to connect, to digitize learning, and automate tedious processes. So it's no wonder skills and technology are going to remain in high demand as we transition into the future of work. So let's talk about skills, because oftentimes, again, when we focus in on thinking we need to be STEM skill prepared, that's not necessarily always the case. There are multiple sources that suggest their list of top in-demand growing future skills in STEM and industry, but the resounding theme over the last 2 years that I've been working on this project has been that the skills don't reside only in technical skills, but there is a demand for those soft skills, or those, we'll call them power skills. These are the most desired across any industry. Power skills are introduced as early as kindergarten. By the time a student gets to middle school, they can begin to show strong influence in these skills in their curricular and extracurricular practices. In addition, studies are emerging about adults forging traditional 4-year colleges for certification courses in high demand. A story published in NBC News shares how a growing number of businesses such as Apple, Google, IBM, and other high-profile companies have stripped their bachelor's degree requirement for many of their positions just so that they get people into their organization. They will get their arms around those technical skills as long as they have those power skills, and they can showcase those power skills on their resume. So now let's talk about the STEM Pathways program project and how all of this kind of comes together. So earlier this year, I recruited a 3-student team to help identify the college and career competencies that we are offering, the skills competencies that we are offering at our academy as listed by the Post-Secondary Workforce Readiness Act. There is a tool or resource called the Recommended Technical and Essential Employability Competencies. So what this means, to summarize and make sense of it, is, here's an example. When you go to college, you go for a particular degree program, you sign up for all these courses that align with that degree program, and then bam, you get the degree. Can't necessarily do that at IMSA, but what we can do is say, this student wants to be more competent in one of the following areas: finance and business services. So we want to identify where are our courses, where are our extracurricular activities, what programs and experiences are we offering these students to align with that competency so that they can feel better informed, more knowledgeable, and successful as they transition. So our team is collecting data and has been collecting data over the past year, and they're going to develop a resource to help our students align with these goals. So basically, it will look like this: a tool, right? It can be an electronic tool or a tangible tool, and that will say, if you think you want to align your purpose and your passion and your learning in finance and business, here's the courses you should consider. Here's the programs, the clubs, the extracurriculars you should affiliate with, so you will be better informed around that industry. So we're hoping to get that tool out by the fall. I will be recruiting students to help me continue the work over the summer. So if anyone is interested, you can contact me, and I'll give you my details on how to reach me at the end. So if you're not familiar with the STEM Pathways program and why we even just pop up out of the blue, well, we actually didn't. Many schools have a career focus element. Our academy had not had one in the time that I've been there, which has been almost 4 years. And my background is workforce development. So I felt it very timely to start to bring this conversation to the forefront. And this is why I feel very passionate, why this matters. And at the end of it all, my goal is that we strengthen students' emotional and interpersonal skills, their self-awareness about lots of things, how to network, how to be financially literate, just all of those basic life skills that are applicable to successful careers. Also, an awareness about post-secondary opportunities. You know, we want our students to be able to connect what they're passionate about and design their experience while they're at IMSA so that they can be better informed as they transition off to college and then on to their career. So it starts as soon as we receive them at IMSA. And sometimes that's a little bit later than it should be, because there are other districts and programs out in the community that are starting earlier, right? Middle school, sometimes even earlier than that. But the conversation needs to be had. And so this is why the STEM Pathways program is important. In the process of us creating this tool as a team, we're learning some things about what we're already doing at IMSA and how they align and frame out the program and support and complement the work. So I wanted to share with you, because you may not have known this, but we know that students at IMSA in their junior year are asked to take the CWRA Plus assessment. The CWRA Plus actually has a valuable tool for potential colleges and employers to ascertain the thinking and writing skills that a student gets. So they can access this report. Students can access this skills report, and basically they'll be ranked on a percentile that indicates how you rank against other students who have taken this. And then you can use this information to supplement your internship, your college application, etc., and so forth. You can put this on your resume, you can put this on your LinkedIn. I believe there's a badge, a verified digital badge that you can add to your LinkedIn page. What does this mean for you as a student? This means that you are setting yourself above and beyond the average student. Not only because you're an IMSA student, but now you're really validating yourself amongst your peers. The Naviance tool that you all use quite often also has a college, career, and life readiness framework tool. Did you know this? So this basically is a practical toolkit for mastering 6 competencies that you must achieve to be college, career, and life ready. So you can access this tool through Naviance. If you didn't know about it, ask your CAC. If your CAC doesn't know about it, see me. And then the ACT, for those who take the ACT assessment, there is a tool called Work Keys, which offers a National Career Readiness Certificate. So basically, if you take the SAT, I don't know if they have one, but I do know the ACT offers this. And this basically says your scores indicate your ability to perform complex skills, those power skills, and oftentimes those technical skills desired by colleges and employers. So you can check your scores also against over 20,000 job profiles in their Key Train Profile search. So if you've taken the ACT, go back to their website, search the work keys, search for the work keys, and then tap into that valuable resource that, again, you can use to set yourself above and beyond your peers. So here's what's happening for the month of April out of the STEM Pathways program. We're offering virtual workshops. So this is one of the many conversations we'll have around the STEM Pathways program to update you. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm also offering one-on-one coaching. So if you need help with your LinkedIn profile, if you need help with a resume review, or how to even begin to write a resume, if you want to practice your virtual interview skills, those are things that I can help you with through a appointment. So you have to set an appointment with me through calendly.com, meet the heart. And then I'm also offering a workshop called Get at Me. It's a play on words. If you know anything about the power of the @ sign in social media, that often if someone asks you to put your name after that, then you are tethered to that narrative. You are tethered to that thing. And so this is the power of branding. And these will happen April 14th and April 21st. And then Improv Your Communication is going to be a fun 2-hour way of looking at how I can really just not take myself so seriously and find different ways to communicate in a fun way so I can show my personality, because that's so important to people in this digital world right now, to connect, right? And so we want to do this in a fun way. We're going to do it through improv games. And so that'll happen April 23rd and April 30th. So this is me. I am Betty Hart. I am the Innovation and STEM Pathways Program Manager at the Center for Innovation and Inquiry at IMSA. And this is how you can contact me, connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook. I encourage you to follow our Into page on Facebook. I will be posting information there and registration information. And then again, if you desire a one-on-one consultation with me, my background is workforce development. I can definitely walk you through some of the nuances around that. This is what I do. This is my life passion, is serving and helping others have that aha moment. So I appreciate you tuning in, and I am here for you. My little quote is, every day above ground is a good day. So it's going to be all right. You take care, and I'll talk to you soon.